Greetings to the continent of Africa, to all Africans across the globe. Welcome to Emancipate Africa. Today's topic is about Africa on the path to colonization one more time. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to my Facebook channel at Emancipate Africa. Also, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Emancipate Africa. The biggest news ever, or one of the most sad and dangerous news that has hit Africa of late, is about China taking over the Ugandan airport or international airport on conditions that, if Uganda have failed to actually pay back a loan of about $207 million, the conditions are that the Chinese government will take over the Ugandan airport. Now, let's assume that if this is true and if this is factual, that is really sad for Africa. And every citizen of Africa and every leader of Africa has to be worried and has to be concerned over these issues because it is bigger than we could ever think. And this has been long coming. The reason why it is important that every other African country should be concerned is that pretty much all the African countries are actually following the same pattern of governance, which is that the whole concept is all about borrowing, 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 and borrowing. And as a result, the entire continent of Africa is in debt to the Western world. We are in debt to the developed world. There is such a huge lesson out there for those who doubted whether Africa can get colonized for the second time. We need to take a quick look at this. And this has to do with the First World War. When the First World War happened, before it happened, nobody knew and believed that it could ever happen, but it did happen. And it was really catastrophic. By estimate, about 20 million people were estimated dead from the First World War, and about 21 million people were estimated to have actually gotten injured as a result of the war. So there were casualties of around 41 million people, And then you might have thought that the world has learned their lessons not to repeat anything of that magnitude, of that damage again, but that's not what we experience. The reality is that the world actually went back and executed the Second World War, which was more massive, more destructive than the First World War. So in the Second World War, estimates have it that about between 70 to 85 million people actually died or had some kind of injuries within the war. Between 70 to 85 million people. So which actually means that after the First World War, when you thought the world would have learned their lessons not to repeat it, it still happened. And what happens is that it was actually on a bigger magnitude where much more people were killed, much more people were dead. And Africa is on that path. So for those who don't really get the picture, the bigger picture of the possibility that Africa will get colonized for the second time, they need to rethink this and they need to take critical look. We need to analyze some points because this is long coming. If it were true, if it is really true that this whole news about China taking over or seizing, confiscating the international airport and other natural and other national assets of Uganda, this This should be really disturbing. This should be really disturbing. So let's break it down and analyze what will actually happen. If China could really take over the Ugandan airport, it actually means that that airport by default will become a Chinese territory, a Chinese property. It actually means that the Chinese will actually put up the rules and the regulations that will govern that airport. It means the Chinese government will end up being protective of their asset on an African soil, which actually implies that if they have to protect that asset up to and including using force, who knows if that force will have to involve using their own military might on an African soil. And history is about to repeat itself. And we are talking about people that are scientifically, technologically, defense-wise, military-wise advanced more than these African countries that we are getting indebted to. We are getting indebted to a country, to a nation that is more powerful when it comes to military might. And these people are known for their aggressions. They are known for being aggressive. That is why it is really important that we as the citizens of Africa, we need to start holding our leaders accountable to make sure that our leaders have actually changed their approach to governance in Africa. African leaders are not known for being smart. African leaders are not known for exploring big ideas, internal ideas to grow Africa, to develop Africa, to build industries that will create jobs for Africa, to invest in science and technology that will make Africa competitive to the developed world. The Western world, the developed world, is hundreds of years ahead of Africa in terms of military might. When you're talking about their war armament, when you're talking about their military equipment, when you're talking about their military hardwares and softwares. So the question is Africa in a position of strength? Is Africa in a position of technology and science to defend itself against any external force in this 21st century, so history will not repeat itself? The whole concept of Africans getting colonized is not because of our color. Let nobody deceive you. Africans didn't get colonized because of our color or our complexion, because colonization actually happened in other parts of the world, not just in Africa. And when you look at the pattern of colonization and slavery, in order for one country or nation to colonize the other, it means the colonial country or masters, they are in a position of strength. They are in a position of dominance where they have the military might, where they have the military softwares, the military hardwares, the weaponries, heavy artilleries, and all it takes to beat the weaker countries into submission. That's why the concept of African countries, of African leaders investing into science and technology, into creativity and industrialization in Africa is really critical to the growth, the development, the competitiveness of Africa to stand on a global platform and defend itself and protect itself and challenge the status quo of the developed world. The concept of African leaders actually thinking they are just going to explore, destroy the environment and explore our natural resources and just depend on our natural resources to build Africa is just not sustainable. There is no way we can do that. We have to start investing into science, technology, creativity, industrialization, innovation, big ideas. Big ideas is actually the new gold. They are the new gold. Science is the new gold. Science and technology is the new diamond of the 21st century. We just can't deplete our environment and depend solely on our natural resources without being smart enough. That's why the African leaders are always being outsmarted by the Western world. The leaders of the Western world, they always outsmart African leaders because African leaders have never proven their intelligence, their brilliance, not on any platform. When all they want to do is to borrow money, borrow money and put the entire country in debt. African leaders have borrowed money to the point that even our natural resources, before the gold, diamond, bauxite, iron, timber, cocoa, lithium, ivory is being mined, even before they are extracted, they've already used it as a collateral for 20, 30, 50 years. Even before 1, 2, 3, 4 generations are born, the natural resources have been used to borrow money from the Western world. That's why African leaders are now short of ideas of raising money. That's why, you look at the African countries where they are drilling crude oil and the prices of oil are so high because they put a lot of taxes on the oil. Taxes and tariffs and a whole lot of taxes. Because now the income from the natural resources is no longer there. It's there, but it's not there. It's now a mirage because it's been already used to borrow money. It's already used as a collateral. That's why the whole concept in Africa, African leaders will rather put the study of religion in the curriculum in our educational system instead of incorporating or putting the teaching of our constitution in our school curriculum. So at a really young age, the citizens of Africa can learn more about the constitution, about accountability, because they understand when the citizens start understanding accountability and they start holding our leaders accountable, it will block their avenues of corruption. It will create a barrier from them so they can't rob the country. They cannot rape the country to the magnitude at which it's happening now. They will rather teach us religion than teach us the constitution, than teach us how to hold our leaders accountable, than to teach us the love of our nation. African leaders will rather project and disseminate information or division in Africa because they understand when they divide the citizens, it's easier for them to conquer. To conquer is in terms of corruption, abuse of funds, embezzlement of funds, of resources. Africa is definitely on a path to another colonization. And you don't have to be a prophet. This is not a religious prophet, but this is just a reality. This is just a true analysis of the path and direction at which Africa is going. The citizens of Africa, we definitely need to wake up. We truly have to wake up to reality. We need to stop voting. We go and form long lines and vote for our leaders on political party basis without voting on the basis of issues, on the basis of who has the solution and who has the country at heart, who actually have or has love for our nation to guide our nation. We need to start voting and electing leaders into office, leaders who actually have big ideas, ideas that are realistic enough to transform our countries, to transform our livelihood, to create opportunity, to invest in the youth, to invest in the citizens, to create jobs, to empower Africa, to empower the youth, to empower the citizens. Unemployment, excessive unemployment in Africa, excessive unemployment in Africa. But all that African leaders want to do is to buy more and more 4x4s, more and more luxury cars for themselves, build big houses, mansions for themselves. All that African leaders are fighting for is the title. Being called a president, being called a minister, being called an honorable, being called deputy speaker, being called an MP, member of parliament, that there's nothing. Do nothing leaders of Africa. Empty barrel leaders of Africa. Leaders who don't care about their accomplishment or their dignity, but they care about making money overnight. African leaders have borrowed money excessively. There is no end to borrowing in Africa. And yet you look at the citizens of Africa and you don't see the impact of all this excessive borrowing. So the question is, where is the money? Where is the money going to make them rich and not make the citizens rich? Unbelievable that you still go to Africa and then women are still giving birth on the hospital floor, on the ground. Unbelievable that you go to Africa and it's a lot of the cities and environment, even in the villages, are deprived from good healthcare, from good drinking water, from electricity. A lot of African countries, they just cannot keep a constant flow of electricity in our cities, in our homes, in our businesses, on our jobs. How do we grow? How do we grow? And why wouldn't we be on a position of weakness that Africa will one day and eventually fall a victim to another colonization and slavery? So many years after slavery, after colonization and Africans, we are still marking time. We are still in a position of weakness. Africa is never in a position of strength. Never. Just because our leaders are not visionary. African leaders are not clever. African leaders are not known for being brilliant. African leaders are not known for being smart. That's why they go out there and sit at a table and go into a bargain of their counterpart in the Western world, and they come out with a lot of debt. And they come out with the developed world actually winning over and over again in their dealings, in their bilateral trades, in their international trades, in their international agreements. That's why they don't respect us. Because we, the citizens, we are part of the problem. We want to vote on tribal basis. We want to vote on political basis. This is my party. No, that's not how it works. Our elections shouldn't be based upon political parties. It shouldn't be based on tribal basis. This political party is from this tribe, so we vote for them. Even if they have failed their first term, we still give them a second term to destroy the country more, to create hunger, to create divisiveness, to create poverty. And then we turn around and wonder why we are poor. We turn around and wonder why our leaders have forsaken us, because we have given them the power to forsake us. We have given them the power to destroy us. We have given them the power to neglect us. We have given them the power not to value us. The earlier, the better. Let's stop all these tribal divisions, tribal elections, political divisions, political elections. And we, the citizens, we need to start uniting. We need to start uniting and thinking about our country. We need to start loving our country. We need to start impacting into each other the concept of knowing what it takes to love our countries. We need to stop mistaking our love for our nation, for our continent, for our country, for our leaders, for our tribe, for our political parties. There is nothing greater than to be united as a people, as a nation, as a continent, as a race. We need to be unified in order for us to make a progress. If we truly want to change our destiny as a people, there is nothing greater than when we unite, we can hold our leaders accountable, because our leaders understand that when we are divided on tribal basis, they will always get support from either the left or the right. If this tribe is not supporting them, they know this tribe will support them because this and this tribe are fighting. This tribe and that tribe are not united. They know that if our goal is not on the national agenda and our goal is on political party, if our goal is on politicians, it divides us. It takes our focus from the national goal and progress that we are supposed to achieve. African leaders need to start reasoning before it's too late, and Africa will fall a victim to another version of colonization and slavery in Africa. The earlier the better. We need to start rising up. We need to start waking up. As citizens of Africa, the onus of change rests upon we, the citizens of Africa, because African leaders have proven that they are not going to change Africa, at least not for we, the citizens. They are all about themselves and they are greedy. They don't deserve the titles of honorable, MP, president, etc. The earlier, the better. Let's learn our lessons. Let's start transforming and changing for the better. God bless Africa. God bless every black man. God bless and empower and give wisdom to the citizens of Africa to wake up and unite against all political divisions, tribal division, against every evil politician who are greedy, selfish individuals. God bless Africa. Remember to like, share, and follow me on Facebook at Emancipate Africa, and also like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Emancipate Africa. Love.